In this video, I'd like to show you how your lead times are connected to the business's cash flow. And this is a very important concept because 82% of small businesses fail because of a lack of cash flow, not a lack of sales. So sometimes, and I'll show in this particular example, it might actually be worth paying a little bit more to have a supplier with a lower lead time than to save money per unit and accept a longer lead time. So let's see how this works. Suppose we have 20,000 units of something on hand. So let's just say we're talking about bottles. So we have 20,000 bottles on hand today. Now, suppose our demand level is 20,000 bottles per month. What we have on hand right now is 1 month worth of supply. Now we're considering two different suppliers. The first supplier tells you that if you order, they can get your order delivered to you within 30 days. But it's going to cost $1.10 per unit. Your second choice is a supplier that's on another continent, and you have to order a full container, which is much larger, and they are going to take 180 days to get your order to you. Now, the advantage is that they are going to charge you 75 cents per unit, whereas supplier 1 is going to charge you $1.10. Now let's take a look at the cash flow impact. First, let's see how much money is tied up in today's inventory. So our 20,000 units at $1.10 means we have $22,000 tied up in our on-hand inventory if we're using supplier 1. For supplier 2, it's 75 cents times our 20,000 units, which is $15,000 tied up in today's inventory. Now let's see what happens with our orders though. So with supplier 1, I can place an order for 20,000 units, and I can keep doing that every 30 days. So I'm going to order 1 month supply, 1 month supply, 1 month supply. So the demand within the 30-day lead time is 20,000 units. Now with supplier 2, because it's a 180-day lead time, I'm going to have to order 6 times as much if I'm banking on one order. So I want one big order, 180-day delivery. It's 120,000 units I'm going to have to purchase in each order. So let's see how much cash flow we're tying up in the repeated orders that we're doing with each supplier. For supplier 1, I'm ordering a month's worth at a time. So the cost of that is I'm tying up $22,000 in my order, and as a maximum, I'm tying up $22,000 in my on-hand inventory for a total of about $44,000. Now I say a maximum because obviously we're slowly going to be using up our on-hand inventory, so the value that we have tied up in that on-hand inventory will slowly come down until we receive our next order. Now for the other supplier, because I have to order 120,000 units, I have to tie up about $90,000 in that order that I do. Now I don't order as often, but when I do, I'm tying up $90,000. And I have to have a peak on-hand inventory number that is 6 times as high as if I was ordering from supplier 1. That means that the total money that I have tied up is the $15,000 plus $90,000, a total of $105,000. So we can see a pretty substantial difference in just this one example. So the difference in how much money is tied up at any given time is about $61,000. And this is the difference for just one item. Suppose you're carrying 50 to 100 items, or suppose you're carrying several hundred raw materials for your manufacturing. When you start to extend your supply chain so far away, it has a huge impact on your cash flow, especially if you're a small business. Now there are many other factors to consider when you're selecting a supplier, because we would obviously want to consider things like quality, where are they located, what is the environmental risk, are they in an earthquake zone, what is the political risk. There are many other factors to look at, but in this one video I just wanted you to see how the extended lead times can actually have a huge impact on your cash flow if you strictly make your decision by the unit price of what you're buying.